Looking around, it would seem the natural endurance of most of the Dragonaires had been mostly spent by now, and Tom had to admit it actually looked like it could be quite romantic to dance on Dragonback on a firelit night. Go get her, Tiger, he mused to himself, as he put on Orinoco Flow, hoping to set the mood, so to speak. Not to mention, that was probably more up Unkai's street. If nothing else, it should slow Jarix down a little. Even if Unkai probably didn't have any qualms when Fengi fell over onto him, or needed rescue from a precarious position. It seemed to do the trick, as Fengi quickly set about figuring out some new dance moves for the calm song. Unkai was positively beaming as she leaned her head into him, dancing close and slow. While Jarix struggled to figure out what to do now, Tiguan just kept going on as if the music hadn't changed, with Ray very politely trying to get him to calm down to little effect. Tom watched them for a bit, feeling quite pleased with himself before someone tapped him on the shoulder. Jackie picked him up as he turned around, nuzzling him closely, not speaking as she slowly started almost waltzing while carrying him around. Is this like a traditional dance? Tom questioned, kissing the side of her neck. Nah, I just know you can't dance for shit. Hey, we were just dancing like her a few minutes ago. And since when do you dance like this? Tom chuckled, as she rubbed her head against him. Ever since I wanted to. And looking like a happy idiot doesn't count. Well, I won't complain, Tom replied, getting a bit more comfortable, his thighs resting on her hips as she held him. This is quite nice. And I'm not even that drunk. I am, Tom chuckled in response, the two of them just enjoying themselves. He spied Saf and Marko getting all chummy on the dance floor too. Tom had always hoped Grevy would have joined the boys on the dance floor. She was busy chatting it up with Glera though. Major Latori had given Lady Deriva a dance or two before the old lady had needed a rest. Tom had really been enjoying it, but inevitably he felt Jackie start to grow restless with all the calm movements. She had put him down after the first song, with Tom just doing his best to copy those he could see around him and not step on her feet. It helped that Jackie had the strength to mostly fix his mistakes for him, but he didn't think he was doing half bad. Come on, spit it out. What you thinking? Tom questioned, eyes closed, head leant against her chest. Jackie's head rested atop his as they danced. I don't know. Maybe I should see how high I can throw you again. I can't have you all worn out already. Save your strength, Tom replied with a little chuckle. Fine, Jackie went, clearly thinking over how else they could have a little fun before it was time to call it a night. Want to see how far up Jarix's neck we can get before he throws us off? Jackie went, pulling her head back to look down at him. Tom did quite like that idea. If nothing else, it gave him an excuse to go climbing on Jarix. Looking at the blue, Unkai and Fengi were nowhere to be seen anymore. The dragon was just standing there, swaying in sync with the music. First to touch a horn gets to start on top tonight. Tom snickered at his not-so-subtle insinuation. Fucking deal, Jackie went, letting go of him in a heartbeat and running off towards Jarix. That might have been a tactical error, Tom mused to himself, setting off after her. I guess I need to call in a favour then. Hey, Jarix! Don't let her touch your horn. What? Why? The dragon replied, looking confused. Just keep her down, is a bet. Tom laughed out, as Jackie was already clambering up Jarix's leg. Why didn't she just fly? Oh, Jackie. Shoo! No! Shoo! That's cheating! Jackie cried out as Jarix tried shaking her off. Jackie letting out a truly hilarious sound as she tried in vain to protest, her progress coming to an end. Yeah, get it, Jarix, Tom laughed as he clambered up the dragon. Jackie seemingly found renewed purpose as she started moving up Jarix's leg despite the dragon shaking her harder, cursing all the way. Ah, shit. Hey, Jarix, could you be a good friend and reach your horn down here? No, I've hoped enough, Jarix replied, laughing evilly at Tom's dwindling hope. Tom did make it to the base of Jarix's neck before he felt a clawed hand grab his leg. Come here, little boy, Jackie snarled at him. I'm doomed, Tom squeaked, looking up at Jarix. Yup, Jarix replied helpfully, with the kind of expression you give a friend when his girl just found out where he actually is. Then Tom was grabbed around the waist and lifted off Jarix's back by a large black foot, the long slender claws reaching nearly all the way around his waist. Jackie didn't let go of Tom's leg though, so Tiguan decided to shake Tom like a dog with a chew toy. Tom heard himself let out some rather funny noises as the world went all funny around the edges of his vision. At least Jackie had grabbed onto both of his legs, which did make it hurt less, but eventually she let go with an annoyed grunt. And the winner is... Tiguan went, more or less just holding Tom against Jarix's head. Tom wasn't exactly feeling well anymore, as he reached a shaky hand out to touch Jarix's horn. Hooray! Tiguan cheered out, before putting Tom on top of Jarix's head with a little pat on the back. It was a rather precarious position, but at least there were some handholds. It's fun up here, Ray piped up, waving at Tom, who waved back a little weakly. Hi, Ray. Just need a minute. Fucking cheaters, the lot of you, Jackie protested, having given up after she was shook off. She was currently sitting on Jarvis's back, sulking. Tiggs, why did you put him there? Jarvis questioned, as Tom did his best to try and get comfy, which more or less just resulted in him doing a KItten impression on top of Jarvis's head. Ray said he looked sad and guessed he wanted to go up. Sorry. Fuck, that's right, night vision, Tom cursed to himself, just giving Jarvis a pat on the side of the head. I feel like Kieran right now. Does that make me Tom? Sure, so Big Blue Tom. How do you plan on saving the world? I will talk nonsense for 3 hours and in 3 different languages when I'm mad, then poop out something ranging for a weapon to change the world to a black writing stick, the dragon replied without missing a beat. Oh, and I say fuck a lot. Oi, didn't they roof? Tom cut with a chuckle. Tiggs, do you know a language we can curse him in? Jarvis questioned, clearly annoyed at not understanding the insult. Charok, the black dragon replied, lifting a foot and pointing at Tom. You just said some gibberish, didn't you? Jarvis questioned, Tom having to hang on as his head tilted. Fuck, this is trickier than it looks. How is Kieran so relaxed up here? This is a stressful environment. Hey, Tiggs, wanna go have some fun? Jarvis questioned, with a raw and characteristically evil grin. Yeah, Tigran replied, nodding enough that Ray let out a cry of alarm. Shit, sorry. Okay, it was official. Saf was having a great time. Just drunk enough to want to stay on the dance floor. Just sober enough not to crush Marko's feet. Marko was really good at this. He had looked as much of an idiot as the rest of them during Tom's little outburst of whatever that had been, but there was no denying the guy could dance. Saf was not much for dancing normally, but this was good fun. Essie's song had been amazing, the drinks were great, the food was awesome, and they were having so much fun that she didn't even want to think about all the other shit that was going on. Shit, I'm thinking about it. Where's the mug? Hey, Marko, want another round? Careful now. You sure you want to get this drunk? The corporal questioned, not letting go of her. I'm not that wasted. You must be even worse than me, little Mr. Scrawny. If you say so. We could also call it for the night. Quite a few people seem to have gone to bed, unless you want in on whatever they are doing over there. Marko went, gesturing at Jarvis and Tigran, who were definitely having a party. Nah, I think I want it a little slower right now. You know, enjoy the moment, she went, nuzzling up against him. She could feel him holding her a little tighter, letting out the tiniest little purr. Yeah, I know, Saf mused to herself as the two of them kept dancing. There was a good question, though. How much of a test period should she give him? He was being very nice. Everything she's seen would seem to indicate he really did love her. Well, of course he did. She was fucking awesome. But that left the question, what to do? They had been dancing for quite a while, yet he hadn't even tried to put a hand on her ass or anything like that. I guess I did set some rather strict rules to start with, Saf relented. Maybe just a little more leeway. She let her hands glide down, his upper arms to his elbows, and she guided his hands down a bit lower, then a little lower still. It was such a strange feeling to have a pair of hands gliding over a spot that was normally so sacred. To have someone hold her there of all places was so different. By the gods, you've gotten uptight, haven't you? She chuckled to herself, leaning into him, her hands going back up to start following his ears a little. The corporal seemed to just stand there, even as they kept slowly waltzing, until his hands finally started moving again, and slowly caressing her back. You having fun? Saf asked after a bit. Oh yeah, came the simple reply, as he let her hand run down her thigh. Maybe here isn't the best place for this. Would you prefer somewhere more private, or maybe out under open sky? I think you would look good in moonlight. Stop it, you, she went, giving him a playful shunt and trying not to giggle. Fine, come on then. Or are you too love-struck to walk? If I say yes, will you carry me? I might, she teased, pulling her head back to look at him appraisingly. Pretty please. Saf didn't answer, just picking the guy up with a sigh and carrying him off. She didn't want to go too far anyway. Just around to the other side of the keep and out into the long grass past the bunker should be fine. Now don't you dare pinch me. I have no intention of waking up right now, Marko went, looking around to check they were out of sight of the party before he got as cozy as he could in her arms, purring away as they disappeared into the dark. Now why would I want to do that? Saf said, having a nibble on one of his ears, making sure it hurt just a little. Stop it, you. Oi, stop it, Marko protested, scrubbing a little in her arms. I get it. Then say it, Saf sniggered, before continuing her little assault. I ain't dreaming. No, on the contrary, where we're going is going to get quite dreamy. Fucking hell, Saf, why did you say that? What kind of dream, then? Marko questioned, as Saf found a nice thick patch of grass, sitting down with him on her lap. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Why don't we start with a little stargazing? We're stars. There are some up there and right here, I think. Wow, I thought I was pushing it, Saf sniggered, laying down into the grass with her wings folded out to make it more comfortable, patting the ground to her right. Marko laid down, scooting up against her as he looked up into the mostly clear sky. There were plenty of stars tonight, and a little bit of moon with the odd cloud here and there. Saf let out a deep sigh. Soon it would be too cold to do anything like this at night. Right now, though, she felt as comfy as ever, looking up at the sky. You know, Essie told me you had tried to get into the guard when you were younger. What of it? I didn't get in. Exactly. Most people are mad when they don't make it in. I mean, they made it pretty clear they didn't want some pretty girl racer who thought she was tough enough to fight for a living. I didn't have money to persuade them with, so to speak. Ever thought about trying again? Sure, plenty of times. I was mad at them, though, and I wanted to show them I didn't need them to become the best. Well, you're already the best looking, a champion, and definitely one of the best archers I've ever seen. You can take a joke and buy a Tova if I told you how good you look. Next time, my eyes shall receive a compliment, I think. Nah, that's too basic, even for me. Oh, come on. You're a city boy and a witty boy, get it? Saf went, jotting his side a little. And a pretty boy. If you say so, Saf replied with a chuckle, Marko feigning insults. I would have you know I am considered most attractive. Is the lean build and smallish frame that has likely allowed you to wiggle into a lot of places you weren't allowed to go? Hell yeah, it is. Well, that and my winning personality. Yeah. How the hell did you end up in the Royal Guard of all places? You haven't said much about your life before that. I guess not. Well, what is there to say? Mum and Dad were both Lancers. They don't tend to live that long. Saf had heard of the Lancers. Those guys are somewhere between the bravest and dumbest people you can find pretty much anywhere. And they were the people you call when you needed to kill a dragon, but didn't have one to do it for you. Mum died when I was little. Dad lasted long enough to see me into the guard. He wanted them to shape me up, as he called it. I'd gotten a bit too good at running away from whatever they wanted to have me do. Marko, the rebellious teenager? Oh, I've got to hear this. Well, what is there to say? My parents were all rules and strict discipline, and I wasn't. Dad got me into a good school, and we lived in a nice house. I had a lot of friends. I'm guessing you were the cool kid. Hell yeah, I had money and I didn't give a crap. We just hung out and had some fun. Then I fell behind in school, stirred up trouble a few too many times. Dad got angry, yada yada yada. In the end he decides that if he couldn't raise me, the guard could. Let me tell you, me in basic, that was not nice. Every officer soon had it out for me. I'm sure my dad didn't help on that front. I even had to live on the base. That was so fucking annoying. And all that winning personality was stripped away never to be seen again? Saf chuckled before letting him carry on. I'm still me. I'll always be me. As soon as I got out of basic, I learned real fast that if you're useful, you can get away with a lot. Like, really a lot. So, what did you do then, aside from escorting girls in the capital that made you so useful? Victoria often used me to mingle with the new recruits. I'm just a corporal after all. When working with dragon crews, almost all of them outrank me. I'm not scary to them, so it's easy to become their friend. You sly little bastard. Let me guess, your magic somehow makes people like you? No, but it can make people not see me. What, so you can turn into Tom for a bit? Nope. People just don't notice me. It's quite weird. They can see me just fine. They just don't care. That's actually... I don't think I've heard of that before. It's not that common. Neither is your little trick. That's quite something. Oh, shush. There are quite a few out there like me, and you know it. Sure, they might not be as good as me. Oh, no, of course not, Mike replied, piling on the sarcasm. Are you questioning my immense skill with a bow, my little warrior? Saf questioned, pulling a sly little grin. Oh, I'm yours now? Marko deflected, taking his eyes off the sky and looking to Saf instead, snuggling up with her a little tighter. I think I'll take you. If you are still up for grabs, that is, Saf replied, looking at him with an inquisitive glare. All yours, the corporal let out, Saf being able to feel his heart speeding up and his breathing quicken a little. Does this mean I don't have to sleep on the floor anymore? He asked, clearly trying to remain cool. I guess so, she confirmed with a smile. If you behave yourself. Sounds like I have to give you something to lose to keep you in check, my little rebel. I can agree to these terms. There are apparently rules against drunk flying, but not running, so Tom had gotten a beer relay up, and he was running with those that were still standing. There weren't that many, to be honest. They did still have all four of the walking tanks still going, though, and both Tiguan and Jarek seemed quite sad at only being able to watch. They couldn't have that. Tom had presented his little idea for a race that would include their four largest individuals. Glera had been in as soon as Jarek's made a bet against her. Grevy had been convinced by the two guys collectively agreeing that she had no chance, because she was so damn slow. Dakota had stopped them from doing anything too crazy near the keep, since some people had gone to bed by now. So off they had gone. every dragon speckled with torches from those that had decided to come along as they trotted into the dark in a line. Major Jordan had agreed to keep an eye on the lot of them, Glira taking the lead. It was quite the merry band they had put together, though Tiguan seemingly decided it was a bit quiet as they walked. "Hey, everyone! Why is Jarek so good?" "Please, no, Tiguan," Jarek let out, sounding like depression was imminent. "He's very talented," Tiguan finished, seeming very proud of himself, though the feeling didn't seem mutual. "Oh, God," Tom cursed. "What do you call someone trying to board a dragon mid-flight?" Glira then went. "A snack!" Her entire crew and all the dragons answered in unison, with varying levels of exasperation. Snack. Tom went to himself, as he heard Jarek's audibly sigh, a slight feeling of butterflies in his stomach as the dragon dropped his head a little in shame. "Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. What's Baron's favourite cut of meat?" Tom tried, really liking this little game. "Please, Tom, I like you." "Flaming Yong." "I don't get it," Jarek replied after a bit of a think break. Everyone else also just looked at Tom weirdly. I guess that one doesn't translate. How do you tell what a dragon weighs then? It comes with scales. Jarek's did actually chuckle ever so slightly at that one, and a few other likely very drunk people cheered loudly. "Fine, I'll do one. When we saved Arriva Keep, it was quite the blast," Jarek went, seeming to regret that one as soon as it was out of his mouth. "I'm sorry." "My will to live is dragon," Grevy went, clearly not proud of herself either. "Right, halt here," Major Jordan went, standing up on Glira's back to look back at them all. "You two boys," he said, gesturing to Junior and Redexy. "You stay here. Mark the finish line with these two torches. You and your two sweethearts are in charge of having the drinks ready." They did as the Major said, and Belinda and Phosphano went to follow the two rascals. The four of them got a care from Glira's harness, as well as a bunch of mugs. "Rules are simple. We are going for night maneuvers, on the ground, while two of you are drunk. I think you trained in this at some point, if not, tell Baron he missed a spot." The Major was clearly having fun, probably also having a decent go at the drinks department. 3-person crews. We'll go down there a bit and mark a start line, then it's a race back and forth once. You can't leave this end before your crew has finished drinking. Was that right? The Major questioned, looking at Tom, who just gave a thumbs up as he checked the two torches he had tied to Jax's horns. Just because, you know. Right, pick your crews. "I want the crazy inventor guy, he's fun. You can drink too, Jordan. Who else?" Glira went, looking around. She still had most of her crew to pick from, so she was spoiled for choice really. "Twitch, you have decent constitution." Jarex looked down at Zarko and Jackie on his back, seemingly content. "I got my crew. Zarko, Tom, Jackie." "I'll take Ray, Luke and Rikui." Tiguan went, nodding to himself. "Well, I'm winning today. Shiva, Anka and Raouf," Grevy spoke up, seemingly rather pleased with her choice. Her only remaining crew member got off to watch instead. "And no, you may not sit on my head. Just try not to fall off." "You better not fall off up there," Jarex went to Tom, testing his grip by tilting his head side to side. "I'm on here tight, believe me," Tom replied, looking over at the ground, only visible through the flicker of torchlight. "Awesome, this is going to be great," Jarex let out as Tom felt him hunker down. "Right, one more. What do you do with a green dragon?" The dragon tried again, as Tom felt Grevy's head turn to look at them. "You wait until it's ripe." "Jarex, run," Grevy snarled at the two of them. Jarex wasted no time getting moving. Tom struggled to hold on as the dragon kicked off hard enough that Tom guessed they had just dug a pair of trenches. Glira was also quick off the line, probably having seen that one coming, but the larger blue fell behind a little, clearly not able to match the young ones out of the hole. Tiguan was a little slow to catch on, but he got the memo in the end, and he was soon bounding across the open fields at quite some speed. Looking ahead, Tom could see absolutely nothing, just blackness. He really hoped Jarex could see a bit more than him right now, since they were going quite fast, as the dragon seemed to reach a full gallop, his powerful legs pounding away at the ground beneath them. They were in first place, but Grevy had made it up onto their side, looking at Jarex with murderous intent. "Why is Jarex such a coward in battle?" Grevy shouted out, with an almost evil cackle in her voice. "He's got no charge." "Oh, fuck off," Jarex cursed himself, but Tom heard him. "What comes next will shock you," Grevy replied with a sarcastic chuckle. "Shut up, you crazy bitch." "You've got a poisonous personality," Tom fired back, laughing like a maniac. "When I'm done with you, I'll be charged with abuse of power," Glira cackled as she went galloping past them all on the left. The massive dragon was running like a damn cheetah or something, sending dirt spraying everywhere, to the point Tom took cover, not to catch a chunk in the face. Looking back down at Jarex's back, he too was going hell for leather, Zarko and Jackie hanging on for dear life. In the darkness behind them, Tom saw a rather unsettling sight. The black form of Tiguan was all but invisible, except for the torchlight shining in his eyes, the people on him probably having dropped their torches. He looked damn scary even to Tom, but he knew in proper lighting he would probably have his tongue flapping in the wind, grinning like a happy puppy right now. Looking back ahead and thinking happy thoughts, he saw the finishing line approaching fast. Glira already fighting to slow down, Jarek's holding off a little longer. Tom held on for all he was worth as Jarek slammed on the brakes, the 8-ton dragon skidding on all fours, Tom picking a horn to hold onto, clinging to it like a child to its mother on public transport. "Quick, quick, quick!" Jarek went, as Tom felt himself go first weightless, then into negative G, and then an abrupt halt as Jarek laid his head on the ground rather hard. Tom stumbled off and touched disoriented towards the row of ale mugs, somewhat ready to do his duty. "Well, hello, old friend," Tom went, picking up a mug and starting to chug. Thanks to Jarek's little assist, he was the first to get going. Jackie and Zaka were close behind as Tiguan came skidding in too. Ray getting the same ride Tom had gotten, though she cheered like she was on a roller coaster or something. Jackie still beat him to the finish, but it was a close thing as Tom clambered back into Jarek's face. Jackie used her wings to make her way up Jarek's left foreleg. The dragon was holding it as a ram for her this time, rather than trying to shake her off. Zaka was a little slower, but not too terrible, and the team finished first. Gravy was not far behind though, Shiva and Rourke shouting at Anchor to hurry it up. Glira lost precious time simply because it took more time to get on and off her, and the Major was not exactly quick either. The guy seemed to be quite sloshed already. "Right, we got a small lead out of that, up to you two now," Tom went, doing his best to get comfy while not falling off, as Jarek set off again, back the way they came. Only now looking ahead did Tom notice they were not exactly going straight, even if Jarek's hair stayed rather level. He was swerving quite a lot. Whether that was due to him being drunk or just avoiding things, Tom couldn't see. He didn't quite know, nor did he care. This was epic. Yeehaw! "Hey, that's my line," Jackie shouted out, sounding like she was trying to hold something down. "Don't you dare puke on me," Jarek went, looking back. Tom involuntarily went along for the ride, but was now sort of going backwards. "Shouldn't you be looking ahead?" "I've been running before," Jarek went, before Tom felt himself accelerate towards the ground at an appreciable velocity. Drunk as he was, his only concern was really the fact he hadn't actually wanted to be right this time around. "Jarek, you idiot!" Tom shouted before Jarek's head slammed into the ground, knocking the wind out of Tom quite thoroughly. "Ow!" Tom squeaked out, trying to look up to decide whether he would just lie there for a bit, focusing on trying to breathe. His sense of time kind of got a little fuzzy, but someone was certainly shaking him by the shoulders now, and he was on his back, in the grass. "You okay? Come on, at least say something." "Bob," Tom replied, pulling a smile, very proud of his comedic timing as Jackie pulled him into an embrace from where she was sitting on her knees next to him. "Oh, you damn idiot. You had me worried there, again." "Sorry," Tom chuckled, trying to get up, Jackie not letting him. "You're staying right here, little guy," she went, holding him close. "Congratulations, you didn't kill him. Well done," Glira went, in a rather mocking tone. Tom just heard a grumble from his left, not really being able to look thanks to Jackie's iron embrace. "You break something, or did you actually get away with that?" "I'm fine. Head hurts a little, but I'm fine." "So, what did you learn?" Glira went, tone turning downright mocking. "Look where I'm going." "Correct. That, and you lost." "Thanks, Mom."